Here we are, live, 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 running, 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 running. Today we're talking about running, 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 running. So maybe COVID is getting you down. Maybe you aren't at the gym. Maybe you are at the gym. Maybe like me, you're coaching people online. If you're coaching people online, it could do a whole different disservice to your body. If you're online, standing up, you can get runner's knee. You can get plantar fasciitis. So let's talk about some things you can do. Hey, Brandon, nice of you to join in the fun. Runner's knee is something that's really, really important to discuss as we talk about how your body responds to standing up a lot. If you're trying to improve your activity by getting out hiking, enjoying the fresh air, getting in your running, let's talk about runner's knee. There's a few different things. It could be in the front of your knee. A lot of people feel that. We're going to do some stretches to talk about ways to loosen up your hips, the IT band, which is also called IT syndrome. And those are two parts of the leg that get really tight. And then you can get chondromalacia, which is on the outside too, okay? And that whole thing is called runner's knee, when those three things come together. So the IT band comes from back here and comes all the way around and then comes into your knee, okay? I'm not gonna get too sciencey on these. You can Google these things. I don't need to make these sciencey. I just wanna throw a few stretches out there and a series of things that you can do to really try to figure out how to stretch out your knees, how to stretch out your IT band, but get rid of runner's knee, okay? Running or standing and coaching can create some different problems in your legs. So here's a quick series. We're also going to use the stopwatch, all right? A lot of folks will do stretches, but they don't stretch long enough. So I'm going to take you through this real quick, real simple, okay? First stretch, hamstrings. They get really tight. So let's do 30 seconds. Hit the stopwatch. We're going to put all of our weight on this right leg. Hips and pelvis facing forward. All your weight is on the right leg. You're stretching out the left hamstrings and low back, okay? And the reason we want to do that is so that we can loosen up the back of the leg, loosen up the glutes, loosen up the hamstrings. We're going to hold it for 10 more seconds. And toes are up on the left side. If you want to lean in, you'll get a little more stretch out of it. Okay, you can even go up to 45 seconds on these stretches. Let's go to the other side. And we're going to stretch out the other side. And you're starting to see how long 30 seconds is when you hold that stretch. Let your hips and tailbone go down and back. And all your weight is on this leg. Okay, holding it for 30 seconds to 45 seconds to stretch out the hamstrings and the glutes. Real easy to help with some runner's knee tightness. Either out here, through the IT band, on the front of your knee, okay? So that's the hamstrings. Now, another variation for your hamstrings is to bring your foot up a little higher. You can use a Bosu ball, or you can take it up to a bench. We don't want to go up this high, but if you're about this high or lower, that's a great height. So again, second set, just stretch out the hamstrings. The Bosu ball is nice because you can point your toes up. All your weight is on this leg. If your balance gets challenged, just hold a ski pole or a golf club, okay? And that'll help you keep your balance so you can stretch out the hamstrings and put all your weight on the right leg, okay? And that right leg could get tired, all right? Your quads on the right leg could be getting some work here, and that's good. We want to keep our quads strong with our hamstrings. They work together, right? One extends our leg, one flexes our leg. Let's go to the other side, 30 seconds, just showing you how long you want to hold all of these, okay? And you're seeing I did 2 sets of these, so you might have to shorten your workout by 5 minutes to make sure you find the time to stretch these muscle groups if you're feeling pain in your knee. A lot of folks will go to the doctor right away. Sometimes you don't even need to do that. If you just start stretching, stretch for a week, and then your doctor's appointment comes up, cancel, and it might feel, you might be able to cancel, I should say, and then it'll feel better. But try the stretches first before you run into the doctor and think you need ACL surgery. All right, that's something to think about. Little stretches will go a long way. Another little stretch, quadriceps, okay? Our quads get really tight also when we run. What we want to do is hold our ankle, not our foot, and pull that leg back. And the thought there is to stretch this hip, okay? The iliotibial band, your hip flexors, all right? And you're trying to pull back without rotating. Again, I swear I haven't been drinking. Again, use a ski pole or a golf club with your left hand if you need that, okay? Holding it for 30 seconds so you can see, if you're doing these with me, you can see how long this actually takes to hold a stretch for 30 seconds. Let's come down and switch to the other side, holding each stretch to try to loosen up the knees, the quads, the hips to overcome runner's knee, okay? This will help you run faster, help you run stronger, or hike better. It'll also make you feel more comfortable. This also is pretty common if people are sitting a lot. You can get some IT syndrome and things like that, and that's part of the runner's knee. So you really want to take the time to stretch. Shorten those workouts a little bit to get those stretches. So there's a quad stretch. Let's do one more set on each side for the quads. This is stretch number 2 in the series. We're going to have a few more stretches here, holding them all for 30 seconds just so you can see how long this takes. I actually have never timed this whole series. So this is the first for me too. Hey, thanks. Be gentle. This is my first time doing all of these. Really trying to pull your knee back, stretching this hip. Lean into it, right? You can even get crazy and do this. You'll feel a stretch on your hamstring. The hamstring's on the opposite leg, okay? Let's come back to neutral, second set on the other leg. Again, holding my ankle instead of my foot, so I'm not contraindicating and pulling my foot in some weird opposite direction of where it wants to go. Meanwhile, you can be stretching that ankle or moving that ankle, getting a range of motion in your back foot. Happy Friday. Great day to be stretching. I just finished up a quick little run in between clients here. So I figured I'd pop on, make a quick live video, record it so I could share it with one of my clients who was saying she was having runner's knee. So multi-purposing, right? So that's our quads. Now, here's a couple other stretches. Our hips can get tight. So we want to do this and reach up, okay? Right leg over the left and then reach up with your right arm, okay? Reaching up with your right arm will help you open up again the hip and your abdominals. Take this left hand, reach it down and reach over. What I tell people is, remember, you want to think about a pane of glass in front of you and a pane of glass behind you. So if you're looking at what I'm doing from the side, I'm trying to keep a good alignment, right? I don't want to be here or here if I'm tight. Let's switch and use the other arm, same legs. Just go over and see if you feel it on the other side. Again, good alignment. You can use your camera. That's the fun of either Instagram or Zoom or YouTube, whatever video you're using, but use your camera or a mirror for biofeedback. Or use a wall and just lean against the wall. Put your heels against the wall, your glutes against the wall, and your shoulders against the wall. All right, so stretching this one. Now, let's switch feet. And again, left leg over, left arm up, reach down with the right. All right, holding it for about 30 seconds. And the point is holding it longer than you think you need to. I see people say, oh yeah, I stretched, and they do this, and they're like, oh, I'm done. Well, really, the longer you hold the stretch, the more that muscle will find time to actually stretch out, and that's what we're trying to do. We want to let those muscles stretch. In yoga, they hold those poses for a long time, and you try to dive into your stretch more. Let's switch, keep the feet, switch arms. See if you feel a difference. All right, again, keeping your alignment. So the longer you can hold your stretch, the better. Mo better, like the movie Mo Better Blues. I still never saw that movie. But the mo better your stretches, the mo better you're gonna feel. And holding these, reaching across, getting your hips loose is what we're working on today so that we can avoid runner's knee or help make runner's knee feel better. All right, so far we did quads, hamstrings, IT stretches, iliotibial band stretches right there with that one. Another really good one is if you were to sit down and do a figure 4, we'll take some of these now down to the ground to add to our series of stretches. You could do a figure 4 right here and just gently push on the inside. That'll help loosen up your hip a little bit, okay? Holding that for 30 seconds. I'm going to show you a couple quick here. 2 different figure 4s. You can do this one, again on the other side, figure 4, okay? And that one is another way to loosen up the opposite side, the opposite hip. Our hips can get tight when we're sleeping as well. Now let's take the figure 4 to the ground, all right? Not clowning around on the ground. Not clowning around on the ground. We're gonna lay back, figure 4 on the ground. Support your head, neck on the ground. Bring your left leg up to 90 degrees. And then reach through the hole in between the 2 legs. Push your right arm, your right elbow against your right inside thigh. Support your head and try to feel that stretch through your right hip. While your left leg is bent, holding that again, pushing out, pushing your knee, your right knee away from you, feeling the stretch in your right hip. Okay, figure 4 laying down on the ground. All right, and that's the right side. And holding it again for 30 seconds is our goal. This is a great series for runners, skiers, cyclists, people who are sitting at a desk, or coaches like me that are on your feet a lot. Let's go ahead and put that left foot down, switch feet, other side. Anybody who has tight hips can benefit from these stretches in this series. I'm talking a little bit about runner's knee so that you can overcome runner's knee. Bring your right leg up. All right, try to push your left elbow on the inside of your left thigh. Breathe in, breathe in. Great stretches here, holding for 30 seconds while you breathe. Taking some time to breathe is important, and that'll help you also focus your day and focus on what you're doing with your stretching and your exercises and feeling the moment, right? That's about 30 seconds on that side, okay? So next up, pigeon. This is stolen from yoga, all right? What the easiest way is to get into the pigeon. And again, if you have knee problems or hip or back problems, talk to a doctor first. Or shoot me a message. I'm happy to send you some alternatives to these stretches. This is for the generally healthy runner who wants to loosen up their hips. So we're going to start with a plank. Bring your right foot outside your left hand and feel that stretch. Then drop into it a little bit, putting that knee down towards the ground, and feel the stretch into your right hip. Okay? If you want to dive into it a little more, come into that pigeon. And what you're doing with this right leg is trying to keep it bent and up forward. You'll get more stretch that way, okay? So I'm trying to get this knee to be at about 90 degrees as I lean forward and stretch that right hip. Oh, it hurts so good. This coupled up with a foam roller can also help with IT syndrome. And that can trace down into your knees and cause knee pain. So sometimes people think they're having knee pain and they need surgery, and it's always the extreme. Oh my gosh, I need knee surgery. I'm going to never be able to run again. Sometimes it's just that your hips are tight from running and sitting. So all you need to do is stretch. You're welcome. I just saved you all that money from surgery and all that pain from surgery. So let's come back to our plank and then switch left foot outside right hand. Again, about 90 degrees at this knee right here. And then drop into it. All right, hold that stretch. This is a great time to think about fun facts. Like, did you know that Adams, Jefferson, and Monroe, all the early presidents, all died on July 4th? There's a fun fact for you for today while you're stretching. Getting a little stretch and smartness all in the same workout, okay? So that's the pigeon, okay? Pigeon. We've got a whole series going here. Holding each stretch for 30 seconds. Another good one while you're here is leaning back, stretching out your quads and your knees. You can even bring your hands back and multi-purpose, get a shoulder stretch out of this, pec stretch. So you're going to be able to come back this way and open up as if you're trying to turn your body inside out, stretch out your biceps, stretch out your shoulders, Open your abdominals. Squeeze your glutes and stretch the quads. So you're squeezing the glutes, stretching the quads, opening the abdominals and hips. And we're doing this to kind of counterbalance some of the stuff we're doing sitting at a desk or running where you're tightening your hips as well, okay? So that's a really, really good series, a real simple, quick series of exercises that you can do. That took me 13 minutes to go through it with all those explanations. If you take 10 to 15 minutes to stretch every day, every other day, every week, whatever you can do, hopefully that'll help you feel better so that you can run faster and run stronger. And the rationale is that our muscles work like this, right? They kind of contract and expand, contract and expand. Now, if they're tight all the time, they can't work efficiently because they're locked up. So we need to stretch them so that they can extend and contract efficiently, right? And so that's what's really, really important with overuse injuries like runner's knee. You want to think about how you can loosen your legs so it can get a full range of motion. The human body is such a cool tool. It's designed to move freely, right? Our shoulders rotate around in circles. Our legs and hips rotate in circles. And it does that so that we can have a free movement. We can play sports. We can go out and hike. We can ski. It's pretty cool that we can do all the things we can do. So getting the muscles and joints to stretch and have a good range of motion is really important rather than just going to the same workout all the time and doing the same habits or letting COVID life run your life. If you're sitting at a desk because COVID is forcing you to sit at a desk more, take 12 or 14 minutes like we did in this stretch series. Open up. Do some of the opposite movements that you're doing at a desk. Up with one arm, up with the other arm, reaching back, opening your hips, squeezing the glutes, opening your abdominals, pinching the shoulder blades back, tucking the chin, elongating the spine and the neck, the cervical spine. All these things are things to think about that'll do the opposite of what you're doing during your day. So COVID life and habits, whether running is a habit, whether sitting is a habit, whether eating good popcorn and watching a movie is a good habit, or whatever the case is, think about what those habits are and try to do the opposite. Try to consciously think about how you're going to change that habit as you work on your overuse injuries like runner's knee. There's also other things we can do for runner's knee as well. Stretches are part of it. Always talk to a doctor if it's bothering you, or talk to somebody like a physical therapist if it's still bothering you even after you do those stretches the right way and for long enough. Because sometimes people think they're doing the stretches, but they're not doing them long enough and they're not doing them the right way. So hopefully this video gave you some good quick tips and some highlights and a series of stretches that you can use to help your knees feel better and help your legs feel better and hips feel stronger so you can run for your life. And that's what it's all about. More videos to come, and I'll put this on YouTube. Follow us on the YouTube channel, Healthy Altitudes. There's some other videos on there that will help you with your running, your skiing, winter fitness, or using bands and resistance so that you can get stronger for your life as well. So that's on YouTube. And then there's also some great other videos on there that you can see to help you stay happy. And follow along on our Instagram channels. Hey, Cammie, nice to have you join in the fun. Following along on these Instagram TVs. I'm going to be doing a series from the kitchen as well on ways to join us from the Healthy Altitudes kitchen and eat well for your life as well. So those will be some fun things coming up on our live videos. And then we've got our great event next Friday. The Valentine's date is making some heart-shaped pizza. Send a private message or an email to me, and I will send you the Zoom link and the ingredients list. But today you have some great stretches, so if you're going to get out and run, hit those stretches when you're done, and then you can keep having fun. I've been reading a lot of Dr. Seuss lately. All right, well, I'm going to sign off. Leave this one as a recording on YouTube. Have an amazing day. Have a great weekend. Be active, eat well, and stay happy, not just for this weekend, but for your life.